Canal International in Douala voted this day, November 1st, the staff representative who will channel their plights and advocate them in case of poor working conditions. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. A people at Lejeni primary school here in Cameroon's economic hub, Douala, has narrowly escaped death after being poisoned by another people allegedly acting under instructions of his mother. The incident occurred earlier this morning, highlighting the gravity of the situation within the school milieu. The poisoned people was quickly rushed to a nearby hospital where they received emergency medical treatment. As of now, his condition remains critical. Initial findings suggest that the alleged perpetrators of the school was acting on instructions from their own mother. Law enforcement authorities were promptly notified of the incident. The said mother is at the police station. The motive behind the poisoning is still under investigation. We'll come back to that in a subsequent editions of Newscast. 3 shops have been razed by blistering fire at the Congo market here in Douala, estimated at hundreds of millions of francs CFA. It was at about 6:30 p.m. Tuesday after the commercial activities had closed when the fire incident broke out. More with our reporter, Sherifa Saleh.
This is what's left of the cosmetics and jewelry shops and materials worth millions of CFA francs. It was on the night of October 31st, 2023, at about 6:30 p.m. that wild flames consumed the shops when the traders had retired.
All our goods, everything, clothes, you see them, all of them. Until yesterday, they make a flood for this market. They beg police people may enter for markets, go open with it, they say no, open with it. Now everything goes.
The timely intervention of the fire rescue team of the military was appreciated by the populations, stopping the fire from extending to other shops in the market. Forces of law and order were equally present to avoid looting, as it's always the case with the fire outbreak. I would like to recognize the efforts of the firefighters who came on time and stopped the fire from extending to another level. The forces of law and order equally did a great job because we are in a zone where insecurity has the lead. The reason of the fire has been attributed to poor electricity connection. It is to be recalled that it is not the first time such a fire incident is occurring in this market.
And the roads at PK 14 in Douala are in a bad state, impeding the movement of pedestrians and vehicles, including taxis, students, journalists on internship. Christy Ayara. So small.
Passengers on foot, bikes, and taxi being hurt in potholes is the situation of the PK 14 road. For some time now, this population have been facing difficulties to navigate the road due to its poor condition. To go down, there is no way. We are forced to stop with the bike up there and walk on foot.
La route là, c'est très mauvais, très impraticable. Vraiment, quand nous regardons la situation de la route, c'est très impraticable. Même marcher à pied, on ne parvient pas.
Residents have been left in a state of lamentation as they struggle to carry out their daily activities.
C'est grave, c'est très grave.
It's really bad. The population here are suffering. A bike cannot go down the hill. Even on foot, it's very difficult. We are really suffering. Our bikes are being damaged every day. The D-states of the roads in PK 14 warrant urgent attention from the authorities. The local population calls on the authorities to address this pressing issue and take the necessary steps to rehabilitate the road infrastructure.
And works have effectively started at the Coron Sector stretch, a road that was at the verge of collapse, blocked for the purpose. The pedestrians along the big challenge for users who must endure to enjoy the good roads at the end, resistance for a good cause. As to tell us more, Beatrice Ngamu. We are talking about work that has effectively started on the Coron Sector stretch of road that was at the verge of collapse, blocked for the purpose. The pedestrian link, the big challenge for users who must endure to enjoy the good roads at the end, resistance for a good cause. As you tell us more, Beatrice Ngamu.
Indication of a roadblock 250 meters away, visible from Coron. Here, the lengths like motorbikes does justice to the terminus. From there, the population, children, adults, and the aged begin the way of the cross. They take a descent, then a climb to reach the other end. They cry general. Difficult to move up and down, especially with mud, grass, and plank to cross.
Très mal et mauvais, ça c'est un sport forcé. Ça ressemble un peu au chemin de croix parce que c'est pas évident de gravir toutes ces marches-là.
The elderly, like the sick, find it difficult to engage in such a forced physical exercise.
Les vieilles personnes comme nous, on ne peut pas passer ici. Il faut monter, descendre les escaliers et monter.
Vraiment, c'est bien, mais il y a trop de souffrance pour nous les malades.
Arriving the other end, motorbikes are lined up waiting to take off either for a canoe or a kie. What is consoling is the fact that at the end they will have a good road, bridge for safe circulation.
On préfère que ce soit bien fait de telle sorte que on n'ait plus de problèmes et des accidents.
Non, ça serait beau, ça serait très beau, très beau.
Je pense qu'on doit juste supporter un peu. Ils nous ont donné 2 mois et à l'issue justement de ce temps-là, on pourra tout simplement continuer comme d'habitude.
Here, many roads in Yaoundé are in dire need of maintenance and repairs, and with the Prime Minister's whistle for immediate solution to the problem of pothole roads in Yaoundé, many neighborhoods in the capital city are to witness a facelift.
And we come back to Douala, where a group of enterprising youths have taken over the space under the busy sea tunnel, precisely at Of in the Douala 3 municipality, setting up an authorized market space for selling clothing. The situation has raised a question about the public safety, urban statistics, and lack of action from municipal authorities. Kizi Kiga, student journalist on internship, reports.
In recent months, the tunnel at Air Village in Douala 3 has been transformed by a group of young hackers into an impromptu marketplace for selling second-hand clothing. These entrepreneurial youths have attracted lots of customers. While their resourcefulness is commendable, the unauthorized nature of the activities has sparked a range of issues. Amza is a trader. He tells his reasons for selling beneath the subway.
As I got my advanced level, I decided now to come on continue here because there is not any money to continue the university. Take someone share.
The shops here are very costly. To get a shop here is 50,000 francs, and it is not easy. I cannot take the small capital that I have to rent a shop. I have to eat. I have to pay my house rent. That is why I sell here. Economic hardship, lack of employment opportunities, and a desire to survive motivates them despite regular harassment from city council officials.
On a choisi de vendre en bas de la tunnel parce que
we choose to sell here because of the difficulty to get a shop here. There is no space here in the market to sell.
Il n'y a même pas les boutiques ici au marché.
When the authorities come, they drive us. but we still come back because we have no choice. According to one of the city councillors, it is prohibited to carry out business activities in that area.
This space is under the leadership of communauté urbaine. So there are those who should come and put the order here. They used to do it, but now is many here that they have not come to clean the place.
By taking swift action, implementing targeted regulations, by providing an appropriate area for the vendors.
And in a renewed effort to eradicate polio and safeguard communities, round 2 has been launched to continue a vaccination in 6 regions of Cameroon. The ambitious initiative aims to eliminate the remaining pockets of polio, strengthen immunization programs, and ensure lasting immunity for future generations, building upon the successes achieved for this year. Battles against the disease. Kize Kiga, a student journalist on internship, tells us more.
Despite significant advancements, polio remains endemic in many regions in Cameroon. Reason for the persistent campaign, which seeks to address the challenges that continue to hinder progress and also sensitize parents to vaccinate their children from 0 to 5 years to eradicate this disease. The government has launched a round 2 campaign to eradicate this disease in 6 regions.
As a response of the polio outbreak, the government will organize the second round of local immunization days. This will be carried on between the 3rd to the 5th November 2033. The target population are children aged from 0 to 59 months.
But there is still a misconception about this vaccination amongst the population.
The last campaign permits us to understand that you have a misconception of vaccination amongst populations. That's some reluctances. Those who have a religious belief, we are against the vaccinations. The information we are supposed to give to the parents is that poliomyelitis still exists in our country.
Medical expert and report says polio remains a risk that many are still ignorant about it.
It's a risk according to the data that we have observed, not only in Cameroon, but in many other countries around, like the Bassin du Lac Chad, even in other countries around the world. There is no treatment against vaccines, against poliomyelitis. The best way to prevent is to let the child be vaccinated against polio.
The continuous campaign represents a united front against polio, emphasizing the importance of sustained commitment and collaboration to overcome the final hurdles in this historic journey towards eradication.
Advocacy for the integration of mental health as a national policy has begun. The issue was the focus of a national consultation to mobilize the necessary resources and to build trust in people, an opportunity to better sensitize the public on mental health and places to go for psychological attention. Beatrice Ngamo reports.
The stress of insecurity, crisis, and instability in the northwest, southwest, like far north, the mental well-being of many unstable.
They need to know that they remain Cameroonian as the others, and you know that where you are living, you have a minimum of well-being.
Especially as people cannot be physically and mentally healthy if this trust is lacking.
In terms of health and mental health, do you think that you can avoid burnouts, suicide, violence at school, drug addictions, if there is no trust in yourself and in others?
Imperative for the government to make mental health a national policy, a concern in need of attention.
Il y a une question qui est pratiquement oubliée, qui n'est pas tellement considérée.
And this goes with resource mobilization, human, material, and financial. The national consultation in Yaoundé is an advocacy for the actors to come up with the necessary strategies in that light. The end goal is for persons who are in need of psychological assistance to effectively get these services.
And employees of Canal International today, November 1, voted a staff representative who will challenge their plights and advocate of them in case of poor working condition. Our student reporter Fro Williams watch how the election process went and now reports.
Working hands in glove to defend their rights in the professional sector as well as avoiding poor working conditions is a new vision of the newly elected Bureau of the Staff Representative of Canal International in Douala.
It's a new team that is beginning work as a staff delegate at Group Canal. As you can see behind me, I have my members that are here. And I want to thank my colleagues for believing in us, believing in my team, and giving us this mandate to defend their rights in the company. I just want to tell you that they need to trust us and they need to work with us because we cannot do it alone. We need our colleagues to be with us.
According to the human resource manager, the presence of a staff representative in an enterprise is a necessity.
The election of the staff representative is a solemn moment for the enterprise, notably for the staff members, because it is a moment for them to design their representative, that is, the voice or those who will stand for them at the level of the hierarchy.
Carried out in the presence of the National Trade Union of Journalists in Cameroon as well as decision makers of the enterprise, these came in response to the call of the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare to vote staff representative in enterprises throughout the national territory.
We give the voters an envelope and give directives, since we received just one list, which is that of the SNGC. So the vote is called to choose yes or no to the list of their choice or not.
No. Having won 91% vote against 8% in the election that took place on November 1st, 2023, former staff representative gives a piece of advice to the newly elected bureau.
That they should be courageous and that they should learn the techniques of handling litigations or negotiations. I know they will be trained progressively, but they should always consult those who've been there and those who have the experience in some of those things when it comes to staff representative and defending the rights.
As it stands, the new team is expected to fasten its belt and be ready to always advocate for their colleagues when necessary.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is the brief with Lil Piju. As for me, I will be back same time tomorrow. Good night.